Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man walah wa ba'd. After thanking and praising Allah tabarak wa ta'ala for what He has conferred upon us from favors that cannot be counted, we would likewise like to express our gratitude to our Salafi family at Masjid al-Quran wal Hadith, and likewise express our pleasure with that which we see from this endeavor to open another masjid here in the city, as it brings joy to the heart of Ahl Sunnah to find masajid spreading upon Sunnah, to find the da'wah, the call to Tawheed and Sunnah to be growing. It is something which brings joy and pleasure to the heart. And as is known, the masajid of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, they are the most beloved of places to Allah upon the earth. As is come in the hadith of Abu Hurairah, radiallahu ta'ala anhu, where he mentioned the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said, Ahabbul bilad ilallah, the most beloved of places to Allah upon the earth, masajiduha, or the masajid of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. Just as abghadu al-bilad ilallah, the most detestable of places to Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala are the aswaq, or the marketplaces. And the masajid, they are the buyutullah. They are the houses of Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala upon the earth. They are the houses of Allah Azza wa Jal upon the earth. And the masjid is the house of every person of taqwa. Every person who has taqwa, the masjid is his home. As has been mentioned in the narration of Abu Darda, that he said, radiyallahu anhu, سمعت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول المسجد بيت كل تقي. The masjid is the home of every person of taqwa. To the point that, as is commonly authentic narration, that the masajid of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, that they flicker and they shine for the people of the heavens. When they look down upon the earth, the masajid upon the earth flicker and shine on the earth, just as the stars flicker and shine in the heavens for the people who are upon the earth. Now, and this narration, it comes from Ibn Abbas, wherein he said, radiyallahu anhuma, al-masajidu buyutullah, that the masajid are the houses of Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala. Tudi li ahl as-sama kama tudi an-nujum li ahl al-ard. That the masajid shine. They shine and glimmer for the people of the heavens. When they look down upon the earth, they see the masajid shining. Just as the stars shine for the people who are upon the earth. So whenever one of these places is established upon the earth, a place of sunnah, there can be a beacon of light for the da'wah to Tawheed, it no doubt brings joy to the people of Sunnah. So we ask Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala to grant this community tawfiq and success in this endeavor to open this masjid. My speech with you today, with our sister today, is centered around some points of benefit regarding rifq and gentleness. For you find many texts coming in the Book of Allah and the Sunnah of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam enjoining the affair of gentleness upon the people, kindness, clarifying its virtue, clarifying the goodly results that lie in store for those who possess this characteristic. It is likewise amongst the characteristics of our beloved Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, due to which Allah Ta'ala has commended and praised him. For Allah Ta'ala mentioned inside of his book, فَبِمَا رَحْمَةٍ مِّنَ اللَّهِ لِنْتَ لَهُمْ. By the mercy of Allah, you were soft and mild and gentle with them. فَلَوْ كُنْتَ فَضًّا غَلِيظَ الْقَلْبِ. Had you been harsh and hard-hearted, and فَضُّوا مِنْ حَوْلِكَ, the people would have ran away from you. They would flee away from you. As is the reality, and something which is attested to, that we can get a lot further with the people, a lot further with our da'wah, We can do a lot more with gentleness than we can with harshness. It has come on the authority of Jabir ibn Abdullah radiyallahu ta'ala anhu that he mentioned that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam supplicated saying, Rahimallah rajulan samha idha ba'a wa idha ishtara wa idha iqtada. May Allah have mercy upon the man who is gentle and accommodating whenever he sells, whenever he buys, and whenever he rules or judges. Being kind and gentle in your business transactions, it helps the transaction go smoothly. Being kind and gentle, if your opinion is sought regarding a particular affair and matter, you're kind and gentle in giving your opinion or giving your judgment regarding that matter. May Allah have mercy upon the one who is like this, being gentle and accommodating. The first point that we're going to mention regarding gentleness is the fact that لا خير في من لا رفق فيه. There's no good in the one who does not contain gentleness inside of him. Yani, gentleness, when it is possessed by anyone or it is inside of any affair, it's going to be a goodly affair. Similarly, whenever gentleness is removed from any affair, you're going to find there's not going to be any good inside of it. Whether it is our marriage, whether it is our relationship with our children, whether it is in our business dealings, whether it is in our da'wah, whether it is in our friendships. Now, la khayra, there's no good in the one who does not have gentleness inside of him. Now, it has come on the authority of Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, radiallahu anhu, that he said, قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أكمل المؤمنين إيمانا, the most complete of the believers in terms of faith, the most perfect of the believers in terms of faith, أحسنهم أخلاقا, are the best of them in terms of their manners and their character. الموتئون أكنافا, that he is muti aknaf, that he is an individual who the people can expect good from you when they see you. He lowers his wing. He's humble. He's gentle and kind when, and it's the meaning of this term, al-muti'un aknafan, meaning that they lower their wing, they are humble. Now, the people expect goodness from them. They like to interact with them and deal with them. And like this, الَّذِينَ يَأْلُفُونَ وَيُؤْلَفُونَ, those who he loves good company, and the people love him due to him being good company. Now, he loves good company. He loves to associate with the people and mix with them in a good way. And his dealing with them is indicative of that pleasure that he finds in dealing with them in his good way. And likewise, they love to deal with him. They love to connect with him. وَلَا خَيْرَ فِي مَنْ لَا يَأْلُفْ وَلَا يُؤْلَفْ, for there's no good in the one who he is grumpy when he comes down to dealing with his brothers or her sisters, and similarly they don't like dealing with him or her. Because some of the people that are like this, such that they bring gloom along with them. They bring misery along with them. Perhaps you come to them or they come to you, you're in a good mood initially, you're smiling, you're happy, but by the time they leave your presence, you're upset. You're upset, or you're down, or you're sad, or you're miserable. Due to the way this person is, no one likes to be around a person like this. They bring misery and gloom with them. They make your day dark. They change your mood and make your mood to be one that is not pleasant. So the believer who is strong in their faith, they are rafiq, they are kind and gentle with the people in their statements, in their actions, and the way that they speak to people is indicative of kindness. Their actions display kindness. They are soft-hearted. They are mild-mannered in their dealings and interactions. They are gentle in their manners of association. And likewise, you find them to be such that from their predominant characteristic that you find with them is as-suhula, They're easygoing. They're easygoing. They're not difficult to deal with. They're not from those categories and types of people who always, they're problematic to deal with. Problematic to talk to. Hard to have a conversation with them. Any solution that you suggest, they have a rebuttal as to why the solution is not going to work. To the point that they come to you for advice and you're like, why did you even come to me? Why did you even come? Anything I advise, anything I suggest, you're not accepting of nothing. You're too hard to talk to, too difficult to deal with. Rather, the believer is such that from their predominant characteristic is as-suhula. They're easygoing. They're pleasant to deal with. And you find them to be accommodating. You find them to be accommodating. They're not hard to get along with at all. And you find them to be such that they draw people in due to their kindness and their gentleness. And they don't push the people away. And you find them to be people of bashasha. They have a cheerful countenance. And they're cheerful and pleasant when you deal with them. And they have an open chest, even with those who they may disagree with. Even with those who may be in opposition to them. They're still pleasant to deal with. Now, and they avoid being rough and hard-hearted and harsh. The next point that we want to mention in relation to ar-rifq and kindness and gentleness for our sisters is that ar-rifqu min sifat ibad ar-Rahman. That gentleness, kindness is amongst the characteristics of the slaves of ar-Rahman. This is what you can expect from them. The believer, the Muslim, the slave of Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala, the maidservant of Allah Azza wa Jal, she is such that she is gentle, she is kind, she is merciful, she is humble. Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala described the Ibad al-Rahman by saying, وَعِبَادُ الرَّحْمَنَ الَّذِينَ يَمْشُونَ عَلَى الْأَرْضِ هَوْنًا. The slaves of ar-Rahman are those who walk upon the earth in a state of humility. وَإِذَا خَاطَبَهُمَ الْجَاهِلُونَ. And when the ignorant address them, قَالُوا سَلَامًا. They respond back with mild words of gentleness, peace, and kindness. Even in dealing with the juhal, even dealing with the ignorant. Because the ignorant, they will push your buttons. The ignorant, they will try you. They will try to make you act with a character that is other than the character of the believer. But the Ibad al-Rahman, when they have to deal with the ignorant, they don't respond with ignorance. They don't respond with ignorance the like thereof. Rather, they respond back with dignity. They respond back with good manners and gentleness and kindness. Realizing the level of the people and who the people are. And this is what you find from our ulama, what you learn from them. Before even learning from their ilm, you learn from their character. You learn from their character. Imam Ahmad alayhi rahmatullah was stated concerning him that 5,000 people would be sitting in his class. 5,000 people would be sitting in his lessons. Out of those 5,000, only 500 were writing the hadith. The rest of them were learning from his manners. The rest of them were learning from his manners and his character. So when you sit with the ulama, you learn from the manners before you learn anything else. And how they deal with their peers amongst the scholars, how they deal with the students of knowledge, how they deal with the juhal, how they deal with the ignorant people when they address them, how they deal with their family and the like. You can take lessons in manners from the ulama. And so when they have to deal with the ignorant, you find they're dealing with the ignorant is a dealing of one who knows who he's dealing with. It's like the ulama they mentioned concerning the tabib, for example. The tabib, he's a doctor, he's a physician. And he has to treat people of their various illnesses and the likes. Sometimes you find that the sick person, he may be mentally sick. In his sickness, he may lash out and slap the doctor. He lashed out and slapped the doctor. it's unethical for the doctor in this instant to turn around and slap him back. He's not going to behave like the sick person or the ignorant person. It's how you find the ulama to be. How you find those who are endowed with knowledge to be. Ignorant, address them. They may harm them. They understand the levels of the people and who it is that they're dealing with. This person is jahil. He's ignorant. So why am I going to respond to the ignorant with ignorance the like thereof? Likewise, what we want to mention regarding this affair of rifq and gentleness and kindness, that the rafiq, the one who is gentle, has an ajr min Allah that is mu'ayyan. He has a specific reward. There is a specific reward that is connected to rifq. A specific reward connected to gentleness. Anas ibn Malik, he mentioned that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Inna Allah rafiq yuhib rifq. Indeed, Allah is rafiq. He is kind and gentle. And He loves gentleness. وَيُعْتِي عَلَى الرِّفْقِ مَا لَا يُعْتِي عَلَى الْعُنْفِ. And He gives a reward due to gentleness that He does not give the one who is harsh. And this is the reality of Salafiyya. Is that it is a methodology that is based upon gentleness and kindness. It is knowledge based. And you find that when it comes down to the affair of good character, as we like to say often, that Ahl Sunnah wrote the book on it, literally. When it comes to good character, Ahl Sunnah literally wrote the book on it. What do we mean by that? All of the books regarding good manners, good character. Makarim al-Akhlaq by Kharaiti. Makarim al-Akhlaq by Sheikh Muhammad bin Salih al-Uthaymeen. The book Al-Adab al-Mufrad. Who are they by? Salafi ulama. Salafi scholars wrote these books, not the people of Hizbiyah. We wrote the book on good character. So gone are the days when we used to believe that the more Salafi you are, the harsher you have to be with the people. No. Rather, Allah Ta'ala, He is gentle and He loves gentleness. He loves gentleness. And He gives a reward on the account of gentleness that He does not give to the one who is harsh and rough with the people. وَكَانَ يَقُولُ, He used to say, خُذُّ بِالنَّاسِ, be with the people, one who is accommodating and easygoing. And don't bog them down. Don't bog them down. Don't be a burden. Don't be such that the people see you coming and they got to mentally prepare themselves for how you're going to come. Or they see your phone call coming and they got to take a deep breath and mentally prepare for what this conversation may entail. Some are like that. Wallah. You see this person coming, they always bring drama with them. They always bring something with them, such that you have to mentally prepare yourself before you even deal with them. No. Don't bog the people down with your presence, with your conversation, with your manners, with your dealings. Don't be such that you are a burden upon the people. Rather, be easy upon them. Be easy going with them. Qatada, he said, إِنَّ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ رُفَقَاء رُحَمَاء. Qatada mentioned that the believers, they are rufaqa. They are kind and gentle with the people. Ruhama. They are likewise merciful to them. The next point, الرفق يزين ما يكون فيه. That rifq and gentleness beautifies whatever it is in. Rifq beautifies whatever it is in. If there's rifq and gentleness in your marriage, it will be a beautiful marriage. If there's gentleness in your friendship, it will be a beautiful friendship. If there's gentleness in your alaqa, your connection, and your dealings with your children, that dealing will be a beautiful dealing. From the parent to the child and vice versa, from the child back to the parent. It will be a beautiful dealing, due to which lessons can be extracted. Wherever gentleness is in, if it is in your da'wah, in its proper place, as everything has its proper place, now, then it will be a beautiful da'wah that you give. In your manners, it will beautify your manners, your character. حل مجرد. It has come on the thought about Mother Aisha, radiyallahu ta'ala anha, that she said that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Inna rifqa la yakun fi shay'in illa zana. The gentleness is not in anything except that it beautifies that thing it's in. He said, وَلَا يُنْزَعْ مِنْ شَيْءٍ إِلَّا شَانَ. It is not removed from anything except that that thing will become ugly. If there's no gentleness in your marriage, no overlooking, no pardoning, your precise reckonings of one another, calling each other to account for every big and small thing. No gentleness. Be a difficult marriage, a difficult married life. No gentleness in the way that you do business. Always very blunt and harsh in your words and thinking that this is the way to do business. No accommodation whatsoever. No one's going to want to deal with you. No gentleness in your quote-unquote friendships with the people. No kindness whatsoever. No one's going to want to be friends with a person like this. It is not removed from anything except that thing is going to become ugly on the account of it being removed. To the point that, and this brings us to our next point, that الرفق يزين صفات أخرى. Even other goodly characteristics that one may have, if you have rifq along with that, it will beautify that characteristic even more. So if you are courageous, for example, you have courage, you're a brave person, but you have rifq along with that bravery and courageousness, there will be a beautiful courageousness that you have. It will beautify and accentuate your courage. If you are generous and kind, and you are gentle at the same time, it will beautify your generousness or your generosity. If similarly you have ilm, you have knowledge, but you have gentleness, that gentleness you have will beautify your ilm, will beautify the knowledge that you have. As has been said during the time of the Salaf, rahimahumullah, that they would say, مَا أَحْسَنَ الْحِلْمُ يُزَيِّنُهُ الرِّفْقِ. How excellent is al-hilm, forbearance, that is beautified and made more beautiful by way of rifq. Person is already forbearing. He has the ability to bear the harms of the people without reacting or overreacting. And on top of that, he's gentle and kind. How beautiful is that forbearance that he has, that is beautified even more by way of a rifq. From the benefits of gentleness is that Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala, He has made the fire prohibited for the Rafiq, the one who was truly Rafiq, kind and generous or gentle. Abdullah bin Mas'ud radiyallahu anhu, he mentioned that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, أَلَا أُخْبِرُكُمْ بِمَنْ يُحَرِّمْ عَلَى النَّارِ أو بِمَنْ تُحَرِّمْ عَلَيْهِ النَّارِ. He said, shall I not inform you of the one who has been prohibited for the fire? And the prohibition of the fire for this person, it is a prohibition either that is an outright prohibition, he will not go to the fire, or he will not remain in the fire for eternity if he has this characteristic. Shall not inform you of the one who يحرم عليه النار or to حرم عليه النار. He said, على كل قريب حي سهل. Upon everyone who is kind, he is gentle, he is easygoing and accommodating. From gentleness and kindness is being kind and gentle in your speech. Being kind and gentle in your speech. And we find this advice coming from our beloved Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, and that which he advised our mother Aisha with. And that which occurred wherein, on one occasion, that the Jews came to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he said, Sam alayka ya Muhammad. Sam alayka ya Muhammad. Death or poison be upon you, O Muhammad. And the Messenger of Allah alayhi wasallam, upon hearing this, he said, Wa alaykum. And upon you as well. And upon you as well. Look, he didn't go off on them. Who are you talking to? I'm the Messenger of Allah. Why are you speaking to me like that? No. simply said, wa alaykum. The response, it didn't require more than that. And so Aisha, upon hearing what they said to her husband, she became angry. And she said, Sam alaykum, wa la'anakum Allah, wa ghadaba alaykum. She said, no, death and poison be to you. May Allah curse you, and may the anger of Allah be upon you. And so, the Messenger of Allah alayhi salatu wasalam, upon hearing this, he said, Mahlan ya Aisha. He said, take it easy. Take it easy, O Aisha. Alayki bil rifq. It is upon you to have gentleness. Upon you to have gentleness. Meaning in terms of your speech. وَإِيَّاكِ وَالْعُنْفِ. And beware of being rough and coarse and rigid. أَوَ الْفُحْشِ. And beware of vulgarity. Beware of vulgarity. She said, أَوَلَمْ تَسْمَعْ مَا قَالُوا. She said, but O Messenger of Allah, didn't you hear what they said to you? Didn't you hear what they said? Meaning, and in this particular maqam, she saw it to be justified to respond to them in this way. They said something to you first. Now, as the Messenger of Allah said, alayhi salatu wasalam, أَوَلَمْ تَسْمَعِي مَا قُلْتُ. But did you hear what I said? But did you hear what I said? He said, وَرَدَدْتُ عَلَيْهِمْ. I responded to them. I said, وَعَلَيْكُمْ. Same thing you said to me, be to you as well. It didn't require more than that. It's rifq. Gentleness. Now, he said, فَيُسْتَجَابْ لِي فِيهِمْ وَلَا يُسْتَجَابْ لَهُمْ فِيَّ. And my statement to them shall be answered and responded to by Allah. But their statement to me is not going to be responded to by Allah. This is thinking about the end result of our statements. As the Salaf would say, the speech is such that before you utter it, you own it. But once you utter it, it owns you. Before you make the statement, you have mastery and control over that statement. You can control whether it's going to be released, and thus you're going to be rewarded in proportion to what you have said. As Umar ibn Abdul Aziz, he would say that whoever does not consider his speech to be amongst his actions is going to commit excessive blunders. You got to know you're going to be held accountable for what you say. Now, and so, the gentleness should be had within our speech. Our speech should be measured. It should be measured. Abu Darda, he mentioned, highlighting this point, and that which the Messenger of Allah said, alayhi wasallam, إن أثقل ما يوضع في ميزان المؤمن يوم القيامة خلق حسن. Indeed, that which is the heaviest of that which will be placed in the scale of the believer on the day of judgment is his good character, good mannerisms. وَإِنَّ اللَّهَ يُبْغِضُ الْفَاحِشَ الْبَذِيءَ. And Allah detests the one who is vulgar and foul-mouthed. This is something that, unfortunately, many Muslims have to be advised regarding. Their speech, cursing, using vulgar and foul language. Some men and some women. It doesn't matter if you're angry. Be an angry Muslim. Be an angry believer. You're upset, but the believer is mindful of what comes out of his mouth. So you don't lose your manners simply because of the fact that you're upset or you're angry. You don't lose that dignity that a Muslim should have simply because someone angered you. You can be upset. It's a natural human emotion. But hold your tongue. Hold your tongue. Abdullah bin Mas'ud, he mentioned, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, لَيْسَ الْمُؤْمِنْ بِالطَّعَانِ وَلَا اللَّعَانِ وَلَا الْفَاحِشِ وَلَا الْبَذِيءِ. That the believer is not one who curses, not one who is vulgar, not one who is foul-mouthed, not one who is raunchy. The believer is not like this, not from the characteristics of the people of Iman. That they go about, when you hear their speech, there's no distinguishing between them and the average kafir walking down the street. The believer is not like that. Rather, even in anger, their tongue, and they are mindful of what their tongue utters, because they know They're going to be held accountable for what they say. So this is the reality of a rifq and gentleness. That it is to be within your speech, it is to be within your mannerisms, to be within your character. You place it in all of your dealings between husband and wife, from a wife to her husband, between parents and children, and vice versa. To be with your neighbors, to be with your co-workers, your family, with everyone who encounters you. They should expect goodness from you. You should expect goodness from you. They should not expect from you bad manners, bad dealings. Dealing with them is just like dealing with anybody else who they may deal with. So be diligent upon utilizing rifq in all of your affairs. And utilize rifq between yourselves, in your friendships, your relationships, your marriage and the likes. One to another, sister to sister, brother to brother. Be gentle and kind in your speech, in your actions, in the positions which you take, in times of ease and in times of difficulty, in all of your statements, in all of your responses, in all of your social media posts. Don't be one who has character that is indicative of a bad upbringing or bad manners. Mind you, the Sahaba, they had worse upbringings than many of us. Many of them, they came from an environment wherein baby girls were buried alive. Alcohol was prominent amongst them. But you find it to be people who, they are examples and role models for us to look up to in their aqidah, in their methodology, in the seerah, their akhlaq, the way they implemented the religion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, their da'wah. Now, so let us not use the excuse that we come from a particular background, so this would it would define who you are as a person now, as a Muslim, as a practicing Muslim. Your background doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't define who you are as a practicing Muslim. Now, so this is that which we wish to advise our sisters with 7 points regarding a rifq, kindness, and gentleness. We advise ourselves firstly, and likewise all of you with these advices. May Allah Ta'ala make us from those who have gentleness in our dealings, in our mannerisms, in our character. May He make us from those who actualize these advices that have come from the Book of Allah and the Sunnah of the Messenger of Allah alayhi salam. Allah knows best. هذا وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين.
Bismillah, alhamdulillah, salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa ashabihi wa man walah wa ba'd. We are thankful to our brother, Sheikh Abu Musa Raha, Allahu Ta'ala yahfaduhu, for taking from his time. As this event for our sisters is coming to an end, we remind one more time, insha'Allah Ta'ala, and we advise the sisters and the brothers, insha'Allah, to give for this project. Alhamdulillah Ta'ala, we are 75% of the way there on phase 1. 75%. More than 95%. Over 95% of these funds have been raised in community. And we have but the next few days to finish off this final $50,000, inshaAllah ta'ala. So we advise the sisters to please give from what Allah has given you. The brothers give from what Allah has given you. Barakallahu feekum. هذا وصلى الله وسلم على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.